So, hi, Kat, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, nice to be here.
So, Kat, can you tell us about how you become a conversational designer?
Yeah, so my background, you'd never guess it from looking at me, is in theater. I have a BFA and an MFA in theater, and I spent over a decade as a professional stage actor, director, and developer of new works. And that was a fabulous career, but there were a lot of things that happened in my life, and I felt like I needed a change. I needed something a little more steady, a little less hard on my body. And I had a personal blog that I wrote that was about, of all things, was actually about grief. And I had a friend who was a conversation designer at a company called Pullstring, Jessica Kitchens. She's a fabulous conversation designer, also an actor, read my blog and said, "Hey, I think you're a really great writer. And we have an opening here for a conversation designer." I had no idea what a conversation designer was. I didn't even know what a chatbot was, let alone, any kind of voice assistant or voice experience. And so that's how I got my start. Was I got pulled in. There are a lot of conversation designers that actually do have a theater and film background. So through my art, my social network was how I got pulled into this industry, and I've never left.
It's amazing. Can you tell me about the inspiration behind Tala's world?
Yeah, so Amazon came to Xandra and asked us to pitch them an original piece of IP. When I was at Xandra, most of the projects that we did were with existing pieces of IP. For example, we did a skill with the HBO show Westworld. We did a skill with a Sesame Street show, Esme and Roy, where we were taking the world and expanding it onto another platform. But they wanted, for Amazon Free Time, which is their premium subscription service, they wanted something that was unique to the platform. And so they asked us to pitch them some original ideas. And the concept that we pitched a few, but the concept that became Tala's World, I originally pitched as Magical Mystery School. And because they wanted something, they had a lot of skills for younger kids, 3 to 5, but they wanted something for the 9 to 12-year-olds. And I was like, you know what I loved when I was 9 to 12? Magic. So I thought, oh, what if it was a mystery? What if you had to solve, what if you had this big adventure? And we also pitched Tala's World is not just a game, it's also a series. There are 7 episodes that make up what we called season 1 of Tala's World. And it's like each episode, the interactions get more complex. Like in episode 1, there's only one other character. In episode 2, you start to meet more characters. And as you go, the choices turn from what should we do next, like pretty simple ones, to having to figure out social interactions and more complex thinking and problem solving.
How would you say someone who wants to get into conversation design, how would you go about that?
Gosh, that's a tough question, just because I got into it so like kind of sideways, and not, it's not like, oh, just follow just get an MFA in physical theater, act for 10 years, and then have a friend who's a conversation designer. I mean, I think, like anything, if you're interested in something, to really do a deep dive into the industry itself. So there's a lot of overlap with conversation design and game design and script writing. So I would say, if you're interested in conversation design, finding as many different conversational products as you can, whether that's on a VR headset, like Oculus has some interactive VR experiences. Phenomena is a company in San Francisco that's doing some really cool stuff. And just absorb as many interactive things as you can, and talk, get a smart speaker or a virtual assistant, talk to it, kind of push against the boundaries, see what's happening, and start to think about, and maybe if you play video games, start to think about, oh, how could a voice experience, if I could talk to this thing, how would it help? Watching films, going to plays and thinking about how dialogue and character is crafted, and just starting to think, okay, this is what's happening. What am I excited about this? And also like, what would be my personal stamp on this? How could I add to this industry? And just getting curious about it. And then introducing yourself to as many people as you can. I get messages on LinkedIn or in my email of people being like, hey, either I am a conversation designer or I'd like to be a conversation designer. Can you talk? And I always say yes. I always say, yeah, sure. Let's have a conversation.
Amazing. Oh, Kat, thank you so much for your time. It was really interesting.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I mean, what better way to spend my early morning than as a unicorn talking about a magical fantasy world?
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.